first team All-Pro 4 times. Like, very few quarterbacks have 10. I don't even know if Brady has 10. I mean, and not almost 90% he won. He ain't a Hall of Famer. Oh, wait a minute. He won 2. I got the numbers right here. More TD passes, more passing yards, higher percentage of wins. He was 46 and 18. What's Jalen? Jalen's 46 and 20. Pretty much the same. One guy's got 14,000. I mean, in the first 4. I mean, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 starting. He's got 13,000. I'm not counting that year 20. And what's his name's got 13,974. I mean, these guys got pretty much the same start. Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer now. All right. Hey, by the way, say it again. If Eli Manning doesn't have 2 Super Bowl wins, he ain't getting in. He is not getting in. But because they're over Brady and Belichick, he is getting in. All right. Without further ado, show's kicking ass. Make sure you keep checking it out. John and Zander go back and forth. They get great guests on the program, too. Without further ado, our boy, Big Z, Zander Krause, joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
All good, dude. I mean, did you get my point about it's no rip. It's more of that you've got to be consistent if you're going to be one of the 371 men that make it to Canton. You pointed it out too. Hey, Brady had a decade gap in the middle of his career. There's going to be peaks and valleys in anyone's career. You and I were talking prior to going on the air. I thought Donovan McNabb was a slam dunk Hall of Fame player. In his last 4 years, he played himself out of the conversation.
Right.
Now, if he had won a Super Bowl and an MVP, it's a completely different conversation. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I do. I get where you're going with it, but the only thing I would say different, that I view it a little differently, is I don't know what's going to happen yet in Jalen's career.
Okay.
You know, like, I don't know yet. Like, it could be
kind of
great.
my point.
It could suck. The only thing I do know is that he's had 4 tremendous years, 4 years of unprecedented winning, and the accolades that he has, obviously, with the Super Bowl and the NFC and those things. So going off of what I know, I would say he's definitely on the trajectory. Sure, it could change. It could definitely change, but I don't know that. I don't know what's going to happen.
Russell Wilson had the same start.
Yeah. Well, where I agree is that it could change. It could. Right?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not, because he's in a great organization.
You're just pointing out. I mean, you can't just sit here and say the guy's a Hall of Fame talent here today. No, you can't say that. But I do think he's in a good spot. I think he's on a hell of a start. I don't know how much better it could get, than what he's done. I know Russell Wilson's was right there too, but I think he's in a good spot. I think he's on his way. If he continues to keep his mindset, the philosophy the same, Sills, I think all those things come naturally.
What do you think is the most important thing he can't lose to keep this trajectory going? What do you think is the one thing he can't lose if this guy wants to see himself being one of those guys in Canton?
I think his approach. I think he approaches the game, wants to get better, wants to learn, wants to be humble, wants to figure out ways to get better. And I think that approach, and, I don't know if you saw the clip that went around of his agent this week. Like, that is rare mindset. Yeah. Just like, he's like, I got to be educated on being the highest paid player in the league. If I can't keep my team, I don't want that. And that's a rare mindset. That's a guy that actually practices what he preaches. So I think you got to keep that. You got to keep that approach. If you get greedy, or you get selfish, or you get, your head ballooned up a little bit and you don't feel like you got to work anymore, that's where I think that things will come off the rails. He has a desire to get better, and he seeks that out and pursues that right now. And I think that and coupled with his mindset is what will keep him on the right path. See, for me, I'm going to go completely somewhere else than that. I don't think you can lose Howie, because you just said it. Keep building teams, or building the team. You can have all the work ethic you want. You could be the hardest worker. You could be the greatest winner. You could have the greatest mindset.
But if you don't have a guy that knows what he's doing at building the team, because Hurts has nothing to do with that, and putting good players around him, you are not winning. I don't care if you're the greatest Joe Burrow on the planet. If you've got an organization that doesn't believe in building and winning, I don't care how hard you work. Welcome to the NFL. Giving you kudos for doing shit you're supposed to do. And I'm not ripping them for that. Okay? I think Howie Roseman's the most important winner, and he's the most important person in that building. As long as that dynamic, do you agree that Howie Roseman being around Josh Allen, how about if he had Joe Burrow? He'd be building that defense up by hiring Vic, by bringing people in. I mean, Burrow would benefit from that and from him. And so would Zach Taylor. Who's Zach Taylor?
No, I mean, it's a two-way street, though, right? Like, it is. I think it is a two-way street where Howie has the right quarterback that has gotten, the success out of the roster that he desired. I mean, just because you put a guy with talent in there doesn't mean he's going to get the most out of the roster. Now, there's a good chance. I get that. But I do think that Jalen deserves some credit. But look, you're not wrong. I mean, shit, if Howie leaves, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in Philly. I mean, look, Howie has earned all the credit he gets. So I don't disagree with that at all. He's got to obviously have Howie.
You just gave me a new topic. Do you think Jalen, it's not about how gifted you are. It's about if you're the right talent for how I want to build this thing. Not every house looks the same, Zander.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can have the most gifted guy in the planet in Baltimore. But if you don't know how to build around that, and you don't know how to build it, you have to be the right guy in the right system. People said this to me this morning. And they asked me a question about, we're going to get to Barkley here in a minute. Who are you more concerned about with where? Hurts and Barkley or Henry and Lamar? I said I'm more concerned with Lamar and Henry being worn out in that offense than I am anything else. I mean, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Henry's 31.
Yeah, that's true. Henry's 31, but I do think that the Eagles, I mean, they rode Saquon.
Yep, no, I'm more concerned about Baltimore wearing those guys out than I am Eagles because of the O-line.
Well, Saquon's definitely a little younger, which helps when you got tread on the tires as a running back. That helps.
Yep.
And I think to your point about what you say with Jalen all the time is he's a smarter runner than Lamar. He's not a better runner than Lamar, but he's a smarter runner than Lamar. Like, if Jalen runs the ball 30 times and Lamar runs the ball 30 times, I bet you Lamar gets hit 50% more than Jalen does. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the numbers would actually be, but I do think it's a big difference there. And that probably is a big feather for, them not having to be impacted as much over the long haul or over the course of time.
Guys, hit the like button. Please, supers, go to the top. All right, I'm going to ask you again. We're 5 weeks out. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions as we go along this week. What is the plan if Barkley breaks down for 2025? What's plan B?
A.J. Brown.
Okay. Is that good enough to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, you take Barkley off the team. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win a Super Bowl. With Barkley, we have an uphill battle. It's hard to repeat in the NFL. It's just a reality. So, I don't know. You lose Barkley, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to be Super Bowl champions. Now, it depends on that defense, though. I mean, look, if that defense over-delivers and they're a top 5 unit again, I think you're going to be right there in the conversation. Now, will we have enough to get the job done? That would be arguable. But with Jalen, with Devontae, with Dallas, with all those guys, with A.J. Brown, I feel pretty good. But I'd feel a lot worse, obviously, if you lost Saquon Barkley. And I think that is the game plan, right? If Saquon goes down, what do? You turn to Jalen, and you turn to AJ, and you turn to Devontae, and you say, all of you guys, I don't care how much you've produced so far, got to go way up. We need 50% increases, in order for this thing to work. So I think that's what would happen. That's what you would have to do.
This is going to sound crazy when I tell you this. It's going to be fucked up when I tell you. Ready? Hey, man, if you gave me an option and you told me, hey, Sills, you're going to lose Mulatto Lane or Barkley, I'd be like, I'd rather lose Barkley to give me a chance to get to the Final Four. I've seen Hurts get to the Final Four. Get me into the postseason. How crazy does that sound? I don't want to lose them two guys or anybody in that old line. I have a better chance, isn't it true, of getting back to the Final Four teams in the NFC without Barkley and my old line intact than I do with Barkley and half my line gone. There's no chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've proven that, right? With 22, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't have Barkley in 22. So I think you're right about that. I mean, the only other time I could think of where this applied would be in 2017 when we went to the Super Bowl and we lost. Was it Jason Peters?
Yeah, Jason Peters left tackle.
Yeah, you lost Jason Peters. And you remember a lot of people kind of counted that Doug team out as well. So I think it would kind of depend on the situation. But overall, yeah, I would agree. I mean, running back is going to be more replaceable in this offense than replacing two tackles who, I mean, Lane Johnson is arguably could go down as a top 3 right tackle of all time. And Jordan Mailata is playing like the best left tackle in football right now. So, I mean, it's pretty rare you get those two type of dudes on the same team. So I will agree with you on that.
How about this? There was a time with Miles Sanders and with DeAndre Swift before the meltdown. You were 24-4. You were 14-3, and then you were 10-1, right? You were 24-4 and 20. You went 24-28 ball games with those two dudes.
And it would actually be better with the playoffs.
Yeah, because you got
they were 3-1 in the playoffs. Oh no, they got the first round bye.
That's
Did
right.
they get the first round bye?
Yes,
Did they get the first round bye in 22?
Yeah, because they hosted the NFC title game against San Francisco that year.
Right. So they were 2-1 in the playoff. Yeah. So I mean,
15-4.
It's pretty amazing.
Right. So to me, that old line is going to be key. Hey, by the way, did you hear my my Big Sills, one of my Big Sills 2025 bold predictions?
What's that?
I got Ty Robinson beating out Moro Jomo.
Taking a little bit of that Jalen Carter talk and applying it to the analysis here, Big Sills.
Not just
I
him.
don't hate it. Huh?
Not just him.
Not just him. You got
way.
a little birdie on the inside there telling you Ty Robinson's a good player. Yeah, no, I like Ty a lot too, man. I like him because he's smart. I like him because he's physical, and I like him because he's aggressive in the way he plays the game. So I do think Moro is still going to be used for pass heavy downs or for to rush the passer. Moro was a great pass rusher, but that'd be a big one. I'd be very happy with that, and that would be another, man. If we get another 3rd round pick. Right, Ty was 3rd. Yeah, that contributes year 1 like that. That would be unbelievable. Because think about it, Sills. I brought this up on Birds this morning. This is like this defense is like relying on those 2nd-year guys. You got Quinyon, Cooper, Jalix Hunt. I mean, is all of a sudden a starting guy, and then Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who's going to be kind of the Oren Burks this year in a way. So, you're relying on a lot of these young boys. If you get Ty Robinson to come in here, that's a young defense, man. That's a young defense.
Look at what you have right now. So Moro Jomo, I think, was a 6th rounder, 7th round guy.
Jomo was a 7th.
You got a 3rd rounder in Robinson, 1st rounder in Davis and Carter and Smith, a free agent in Bond, 3rd rounder in Dean, a 3rd rounder in Jalix Hunt. By the way, Jalix Hunt's going to beat out Ojulari. I asked why he's 2nd team because I'm looking at the depth chart that Clint gave me. I go, what? I mean, Ojulari, where are we going with that? He goes, the guy can't play the run. Everybody in New York knew it. That's why they let him walk, is because he had issues against the run. He's a good pass rusher now. And you know what else he does pretty decent? They told me he really drops good in coverage, and he understands the technical part of dropping in coverage. It's what's really appealed to Vic. I was like, wow, I never heard that. He goes, yeah, he understands the coverages and the drops. It's why he's getting, who's getting the reps? Hunt and Ojulari are getting the reps. If Uche's going to make the team, it's going to be situational pass rushing. Okay, so that's how they're looking at it like this, Zander. I'm like, what's the rotation right now? He goes, well, Hunt needs reps. I said, yes, he needs reps. He's going to play a lot in the exhibition season.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I mean, they're gonna get him up to speed. You
Boy,
know,
Joshua Uche, if that guy pans out, I'm riding that take all the way to the bank, baby.
what they're gonna do with him, I heard, is they're gonna put him, and he's gonna be a nickel a lot. Okay, they're gonna have him a nickel because he's not the greatest on the run. Neither is Ojulari, but Ojulari's good in coverage. They like Ojulari more than they like Uche. Because Uche can drop in coverage and he can pass rush. Uche's not the best in coverage. So the other guy, again, Hunt needs reps. The only reason he's in second team, Zander, is reps. You got first team, you got another first rounder in Mitchell. You got a free agent in Reed. You got a second rounder in a free safety. You know they moved up Keely Ringo to starting?
Well,
Over
I do
Dory
think
Jackson.
I think he's going to be starter. Yeah. They moved it in the depth chart, though?
What's that?
They moved it in the
for
depth.
whatever reason, they're going back and forth every month. I don't know why. I don't know what that means. I think it's got something to do with workouts, maybe what they're watching on tape. They're watching a shitload of the OTA stuff. I'm like, can't be too much. You guys practice once. He goes, well, do you think that we're winning with it? And I go, they are winning with it. So it is really hard for me to sit there and, criticize anything that they're doing. All right, let me ask you this. So I'm gonna relent a little bit. By the way, all supers go to the top. We will read them at the end of this segment. Gary Cobb's going to join us at 4:30. Please hit the like button. So do you agree that one thing that Nick Sirianni's doing as a coach? What do you make of this? He's not the most popular guy in his own building. Name me a place in the NFL where assistant coaches are more popular than the head coach. And every place that you will be losers. Every place. Every place. Now, I'm not ripping them here. What I'm saying is this. Is this not how he's evolved into this? Hey, man, my assistant coaches are really great. Look at what they're doing here. Vic is really doing. I'm learning so much from the guy. Look at Southland. Southland's really just a great coach. He's the best offensive line coach that we have. We got so many great coaches. Bobby King, look at the job he's done. I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that this guy is really working into being this delegator guy. He may not be a modern-day head coach he may not be an old school head coach that I respected or look at, but he might be, again, the coaches that today, that like you said, Zander, there's a front office that wants to pick the coaches, and he likes these guys. He signs off on these guys. He brings them in. They work together. Nick looks like he works with people better than any coach that they've had, maybe since Andy Reid.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing I think with this that I'll circle back to is I truly believe this is going to be more and more prevalent in the NFL because teams have gotten so big now. The days of Jimmy Johnson's era are so far gone. I mean, there's companies that raise money in New York City that are 1/50th the size of an NFL franchise, and their CEO's got to submit an approval inquiry to go to the bathroom. Because everybody has this role. And I'm not saying the football is going to get to that point, but, you got a $10 billion organization here. The coach doesn't do everything anymore. It's the coach is the coach of the football team. You don't even have to worry about personnel. You don't have to worry about contract, nothing. You don't worry about anything but the football field. And I think you're going to start to see that happen more. And to Nick's credit, all right, it's a different skill set, like you just said, than you're used to, but it is a skill set. It's hard to do. It is. It's not It's not as easy as people think, where it's like, oh, he's a water boy. No, not really. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
This is an ego league.
Yeah, 100%. Ego league, ego owners, ego GMs, everybody.
Coaches,
man, you got to
players.
be able to get everybody bought in and working on, in tandem to go for a common goal. It's a hard job, and Nick has definitely done a good job at it.
See, to me, man, I mean, could I do? I mean, hey, giving everybody else all the credit, Yeah, but dude, I guess when you get $15 million a year, it's kind of easy to go, hey, this guy's great and all this. And I get it, but I don't think the money there, again, I think don't you agree? No matter how much money you make, ego always supersedes the salary you're making. You're always going to come unglued on something. And no matter what it is, it's just your competitive nature. Money doesn't keep you grounded when it comes to ego, because everyone has one in that sport. I think what he's done, I'm going to disagree with Angelo on one part with this. The one thing that he's doing is managing himself well. Or better. He's managing himself better. Screaming at the crowd was stupid. It was infantile. And it was high school. Well, I don't know. Being around Vic and being around Stoutland, I think it's made him a better coach.
Yeah, and I think it balances out like that infantile a little bit where I agree with you. Like you even have Jalen Sills. Sometimes if you have too much of that, you take the fun out of a football team. And I'm not saying that Nick is all that. I'm just saying I think it works because you have, like you just said, Vic Fangio, who's the way he is, Stoutland. You got Jalen, who's this cool, calm cucumber type of dude who doesn't get phased, doesn't have emotional highs and lows or any of those things. So you're right. I mean, I think those guys all help Nick be Nick, but I do think he's gotten better at it, to your point.
I brought a topic up with you, and I'm going to circle back with a couple more here, guys. Please hit the like button. And I'm going to circle back here because this was a comment that was made, and I posted it. This is Jalen Hurts when he got benched at Alabama. Said, I cried, asking my dad, what are we going to do? What was I going to do? And his dad was commenting and said, it takes courage to do that. I respect that because that paved the way for me to believe that I could overcome anything. So again, this guy from the 2022 Super Bowl loss to the meltdown of 23, Hurts is becoming a better player based off of Bama, transferring, the 23 meltdown, the 22 Super Bowl loss. I think he learns more from his failures than his successes.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think he does 100%. I think that most people could probably say that too. You learn more in lessons of failure and moments of failure than you do in moments of success, for sure. So certainly has been the case with me in my life. And I thought that quote was great, and I think it does show you that might have been the best thing that ever happened to Jalen Hurts. We might not talk about Jalen Hurts. We might not even know of Jalen Hurts in terms of this level without that happening at the University of Alabama. I mean, think about it. He was never supposed to be a top pick. He was never supposed to be even after he went to Oklahoma and revived, kind of the image and passed the ball better, he was still a second-round pick. And most Eagles fans, most people who were fans of Jalen Hurts probably thought that was too high for him at the time. I remember the famous Philly 500 video reacting to Jalen Hurts getting drafted. He's like, what the F? I mean, the reality is nobody thought this guy was coming. So I think a lot of those things, certainly, it brings up a Jalenism too. You either win or you learn, Sills. You either win or you learn.
You do. Again, and I posted that and I go, I wonder what Saban again. I'm circling back with you because you were there. I wonder what that guy really thinks because I talked to Dave Wannstedt and I asked Dave Wannstedt, dude, if you're the Dolphins, who would you rather have? Jalen Hurts or Tagovailoa? Who would you rather have as your quarterback?
Hurts or Tua?
Yeah.
Oh, Hurts, not even close.
Hurts, Tua's not awful, man. He led the NFL.
No, I'm not saying he's awful at all. He's not awful, but he's limited. He's got a limited skill set. There's only so many ways to win with him.
I'm not giving him that contract.
Yeah, how many?
They gave him
a big deal, right? He got a big deal.
$53 million.
Yeah. Everybody's
I'm not giving him that day, right? I'm not.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'd rather have Hurts. I'd rather have Hurts over basically everybody except for 3 guys.
Oh, now it's up. He's top 4 now.
Well, that's a different category than if you select a team, I think. I mean,
Okay. All right.
If I
All
got
right.
any quarterback available, I'd probably have Hurts 3 or 4. Yeah. I mean, I'd have Mahomes because I think his success speaks for itself. It's hard for me to look past that. And I'd probably have Josh Allen just because I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. And I think Josh Allen if Josh Allen had an organization like Philly, I think he'd be in rarefied air, but he doesn't.
How about
So it's
Burrow?
hard to gauge. But I think
How
Hurst
about
is right
Burrow?
there. I love Burrow,
Joe
but I have a little bit of an issue with what happened last year. I mean, you win 8-9 games and Jamar Chase is getting the triple crown. It's like, are you Dak Prescotting it? Like, are you just looking for stats? Like, how does none of those stats lead to more wins than that? I don't know. I got a little bit of an issue with that, but Joe Burrow's great too. Great player. He's one of the best players from the pocket, I would say, in the NFL for sure. So Joe Burrow's up there. He's top 5. I mean, no doubt. And then Lamar. I mean, Lamar is one of the most rare athletes the NFL's ever had.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has. So Lamar would have to be way up there too.
Like I've not seen anything like that. Guy
Who will
goes
win
for
a Super Bowl first? Ready? Josh, Lamar, or Joe?
Baltimore will because
they have a better team.
They're better organization.
Better organization.
It's just Buffalo. I think Brandon Beane's good. I've learned one thing covering.
It's the coach I don't like in Buffalo.
Me too, man. I don't like the whole
McDermott,
organization.
and they're stuck on him. They won't move off him.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it reminds me of when the Cowboys kept Jason Garrett around all through Romo's prime, and you're just like, what are you doing? But I didn't have a problem with Dallas doing it, but I think the Bills should move on. I will say this: the Bills are my pick this year, though, in the AFC. I think the Bills would get the job done.
I'm gonna hang on Baltimore.
That's you, John, and Jeff Kerr are all on Baltimore in the AFC this year.
I think Baltimore has, because of what they did with their team defensively. I think, that Malachi Starks kid next to Hamilton, you keep an eye on that dude. That's going to be – so here, a couple last ones here.
Baltimore does draft good.
What's that?
They draft good, Baltimore.
They do. Them and the Rams outside of Philly.
Les Snead's amazing in L.A.
Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Josh Sweat, and BG. You're good with that, right? The replacements.
What do you mean, go with it?
Nolan Smith.
Optimistic on it?
Jalen Hunt replacing Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. You're good.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that's an uphill battle to say that they're going to replace those two guys. I mean, Brandon Graham Brandon Graham is a little easier to replace, obviously, because he was on a more limited role. But I do think he provided you a lot to that defense. Josh Sweat's hard to replace because I don't know if you're going to have what edge rusher is that every down? Does Josh Sweat does Nolan Smith become Josh Sweat? And Jalen Hunt becomes, they could be their own person, but I don't know. I think they both have that every down versatility, but how effective will they be? I don't know. Josh Sweat did have a good year last year.
I mean, does Jalen Hunt replace Brandon Graham? Remember when Brandon Graham got hurt a year ago?
Yeah.
Dude, when he was in that Ram game, he was the best player on the field defensively.
That's when Nolan stepped up. Nolan stepped up when Brandon went down.
He did.
And then it became Nolan and Josh. So now you need Nolan to be paired with, Jalix, and then they both need to thrive. And then you need, I think after that's where it gets worse. Last year, still as Jalix Hunt showed up, he's got Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Brandon Graham, and Nolan Smith in front of him. Now he's got Nolan Smith. That's it. His role is way bigger this year, Jalix Hunt's. And then you're relying on Uche Ojulari, Patrick Johnson, and some of these other dudes to be essentially what Nolan and Jalix were late in the year, which was they were good. So that's a tough ask. There's no doubt. I mean, the dominoes fell there, and you don't know if you have everybody in the room, but I am pretty optimistic on it. I think Jalix has a bigger upside than I think Jalix could be a better player than what Sweat was in his prime. He's not that yet, but I think he could be that.
He looks the role.
I agree.
He looks the role here.
He definitely looks the role. What is he, 6'4"? He's a big dude. Yeah.
I thought he was more 6'1.5". I didn't realize it. Once again,
Yeah,
I
he's
keep telling
bigger.
you that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't realize he was as big as he was until I saw him,
Yeah.
lined up with some other players.
All right. 5 years from now, who will be revered in the league more? Who will have more Pro Bowls? Whose career will be trending up? Jalen Carter, Q, or Cooper DeJean?
What was the question? Because aren't they all trending up?
Who will have in 5 years a better place in the league? Have had a better career so far? Carter, Cooper DeJean, or Cooper or Q?
I'm going to say Carter here because I think defensive linemen kind of have that type of pedigree more often than a defensive back does. I mean, how many times you see a defensive back come into the league and they're great, and it's not to say that they're not, but that they're not going to be great players. But I don't know, like J.C. Horn, that guy just got paid massive money. Like, I don't think much of that player. I don't know. I just wonder if you're a great D tackle in the league, like everybody knows you. I feel like Jalen's going to have that.
You know why I'm going to say Cooper DeJean?
I knew you were saying Cooper when you didn't even need to tell me any other names. I would have said you were picking Cooper.
You know why?
Why?
Your fan base is going to propel that guy and make him a bigger star than Jalen Carter. You're going to make him a bigger star. Shit, every time the guy walks in the room, Coop! I don't hear anybody talking like that shit. You're right. Jalen Carter will be the better player, but who will be the most recognizable player on your team in 5 years? It'll be Coop. Dude, this guy goes like this. He walks over, drops it on the bar table. Every chick is in the bar. What is it? Wildwood? He's at the Wildwood, dropping it on the table. Coop! You got the honeys.
Ocean Shitty. That's what I call it. Ocean Shitty.
Hey, guy talking shit on Ocean City. That's why.
Ocean Shitty. That's what it is.
Yeah. Dude, that guy is going to be this guy's going to be looked at like Brian Dawkins.
I could see that. Are they going to drop him back to safety and really solidify the next B-Dog?
I think they have to. I think if you keep him in the slot, you're going to undervalue him.
Yeah, I do.
Put him in that safety. Put him in the
safety.
safety.
He can make a lot of plays at safety, but I don't know if they'd want to move him there. Remember that song? Man. Cooper DeJean is not a safety. He's just a quarter. He'll lock down your number one.
He's got a fucking song?
You haven't heard the song?
No.
What?
You got to send it to me. So this guy's got a song.
Is not a safety.
And he knows it.
He'll lock down your number one. Dude, that song is great.
This thing's over. If this guy
is CB1.
Holy shit. And he knows it. I'm telling you.
Let me find the Cooper DeJean song. You will love that. Let me tell you. I did not know you didn't see that.
Bro, in 5 years, you got a song after his ass.
Somebody made it last year. It wasn't like a.
Oh my God, this guy's going to be the most.
I probably can't play it on the air because it's got background music that's copyrighted, but let me see.
You got to send it to me.
I'm the Jackie Robinson of the NFL.
Right.
It's not a safety. He's just a corner who'll lock down your number one. DeJean is CB1.
DeJean is CB1. I can't.
Oh my God!
Send that to your Twitter. You'll love that.
Oh my God! Please do. Oh my God! They got Michael.
I love that song. I can't believe you've never heard it.
I have not. That's hot. That's fire, dog. That's fire. All right. Hit that like button. Let's get to some of these supers. Guys, supers support the show. We appreciate you guys throw them in here. Gary Cowell
Look
Jones.
at Thanos. Ocean City's the place to be. That's where my girlfriend goes. So I always tell her, get out of Ocean Shitty and get to Cape May. It's where the winners go. It's where the champions go.
The champions.
Kimberly says, Coop is to the Eagles what Caitlin Clark's to the WNBA. I don't know about that.
I'll tell you this. SGA, who? Caitlin Clark over the weekend. Can you imagine this? So wait a minute. The NBA didn't want to play on a Sunday because they were afraid of the U.S. Open. And they waited until Monday. Could you imagine the NFL doing this, Zander? Hey, you know, we're gonna move the Eagle game. And we're gonna move the Eagle Cowboy game. And we're gonna play it because the U.S. Open's playing. Holy shit. And Caitlin Clark, hey, I watch her. SGA for the Thunder. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was in a mall, Zander, and I put SGA in a mall, 3 people would know who he was. If I put Caitlin Clark in a mall in Philly, everyone would know who that chick was. Give me a break.
Caitlin Clark.
Unbelievable, man. Hey, 32-9-8 her first day back.
Here's Christopher Michael. Just a random question. Favorite Eagles player of all time and why? Dawkins. I see you said the same one. Mine is Dawkins. Leader, passionate, playmaker, tone setter, humble. Who now is that guy?
I'll tell you who mine is. Now,
all right, so on current team?
Yeah, we got – now, I'll do both. One all-time and one today. So – I won't use Jerome. I'll tell you who mine is, man. Mine's Andre Waters. I'll just tell you why. When he stepped on the field, man, you know how you're like Tony Soprano, you're talking to a kid and he's pissing his pants because he's going to get shot in the chest.
Yep.
That's kind of like when Andre Waters was on that team, dude, with him and Wes Hopkins patrolling that secondary. Hey, man, people feared that team because that guy was a headhunter. And he would knock the shit out of you. And I'm privileged to have known the man. But I'll tell you, so Cooper's now my favorite. Cooper and Mulata. So, but I'm going to go Cooper right now.
I know Cooper's your favorite. Big Sills loves Cooper. I think today it's Saquon, Christopher, for me, for today's team. Because I think Saquon came and like you just said, leader, passionate, playmaker, tone setter, humble. Couldn't you apply all those words to Saquon Barkley too? You know, I feel like it's Saquon for the team today, and you're not going to like this. My favorite Eagles player of all time is Brian Dawkins. That's who I had a bunch of jerseys of when I was a kid. But it's quickly it might become Jalen Hurts.
He's a great football player, man. I mean, I would say this in the last 45 years. Has there been a better? I would only say that. I mean, you could go Troy Polamalu, and obviously,
did you hear what I said though?
Dawkins. I heard you say that. I heard.
And Jalen is becoming it.
Jalen's your favorite Eagle.
He's becoming my favorite Eagle.
Why?
Because he's done everything. He's done what everybody else failed to do.
So the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl win to you, okay? When you look at the great players that you watched.
Remember, I am factoring in still. It's a very small sample size. How many years was McNabb here? You know, and he didn't get the job done.
Like a decade.
And a lot. You know, Jalen's been here 4 years. He's gone to the Super Bowl twice. In the one that we didn't win it, I cannot say that he puked and lost us the game. He was superb in that game. And then we returned a year and a half later to go back to win it. You know, so I'm not saying he is yet. I'm just saying Jalen Hurts on this trajectory will be everybody's favorite Eagle in 10 years if he wins at this clip for the next 10 years.
I love this. I love this super chat here. And you know what? I'll give you a precursor to it. So that's a good one. East Coast, Rico.
What's y'all score for week 1? East Coast, you want to score? It's June, my friend. I got one for you, though.
Go ahead.
31-10.
Ooh.
31-10.
If I'm giving you one right now in June 16th, I got 38-17.
Birds? It's a crushing blow.
Hey, I think it'll be close in the first, like 10 points.
Did you hear the Dak
But
Prescott quote that came out today?
Oh God, please give me content, please.
He just said he wants to win a Super Bowl this year.
Now here, I'll ask you this. Do you think it's Dak failures in the postseason, or do you think it's Cowboy failures?
It's both,
in the
but it's Dak too.
No, pick one.
It depends which one you're talking about, because not every playoff game he's played poorly, but the most recent one when he threw 2 picks, like, dude, if we lost the playoff game in Philly and our quarterback threw 2 picks, we'd have his head on a silver platter. We had Jalen's head on a silver platter. He had 0 picks. He just didn't have his best game versus the Rams and versus the Packers. And we were ready to freaking chop him, like chop suey. Come on, man. The quarterback can't turn the ball over in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if Jalen plays like that in Dallas, he's not getting to that NFC title game.
Well, why? He could play
Because
like 22 Hurts in Dallas.
The quarterback in Dallas or anywhere else has to play great every week. You just can't fucking just show up and not play, and the other components of the team play better.
What was Dallas's record last year with Dakota?
Do you see my point? Jalen doesn't have to play great in 3 straight 4 games. He just doesn't. These other places, these guys have to. So again, Zander, that's an organizational thing. I think the Cowboys, I'm not saying, but here, look this. Jalen Hurts has had some pretty bad fucking snoozers too in the postseason. The problem, or the thing to his credit, is that his team's better. And his team wins. He doesn't have to play great. You're trying to tell me he hasn't had Dak moments? He's had turnovers in playoffs, and they've won.
Yeah,
no.
So you think it's the Cowboys?
I think it's him too. I do. I don't want to fence straddle too, but I think it's more the Cowboys.
And, I need Philly 500 in here. He'll go belt the ass on Big Sills too.
No, wait. Jalen hasn't played great in every playoff game.
No, he didn't. He didn't play good in the Packers game or the Rams game last year. All right, here we go. East Coast, we got that one.
If he plays like that in Dallas, he gets bounced.
Lamar Davis says, I feel like Jalen's ceiling is Troy Aikman, not Russ.
Okay, well, that's 3 Super Bowl wins. Okay.
I think it's a little higher than Troy. Kimberly says, Vic loves Georgia boys. Versatility, 8 now. Coach Bell.
Let me ask you something here. Do you think he throws for more yards in his career than Donovan? 37,000.
What's he up to now?
14.
14?
Yeah, 14.
If he plays another 10 years.
That's 28.
Yeah. Wow, it's more than 28.
Well,
look at Sills saying average out at 2,800 a year.
Yeah,
you just can't escape being an asshole. You just have to get an asshole comment.
Just saying.
Another 10 years is 28 G. Wait a second. He's put up 14 in 4 years.
He's got 14 now. Another 10 years is 28.
14 and 4, though. Kyle says, Sills and Zander, I'm in the process of buying a house. Look at that.
Look at you, man.
Kyle, good job, brother. Keep grinding, man. Keep grinding.
Hey, Kyle.
Again. Good.
I'm in the process of buying a treehouse. Hang on. Hey, McNabb has thrown for 37,000 in 13 years. You think Hurts passes the all-time leading passer in?
I think it's going to be an uphill battle, but I think he could get close. He's already at 14K. Kyle says A-Track is Helen Keller until further notice. Kyle again. Sills, I know everyone wants Ringo to win the job, but why do I got the feeling that McWilliams kid could win the job? Well, I don't know about that, Kyle.
Kyle likes that roster, boy, I'll tell you. So look at this here, too.
Kyle's been Sileo eyes. He's been taking them Sileo gummies too much. Of course,
234 TD passes never happened.
All right, we got all this.
Yeah, he ain't.
All right, good stuff.
He ain't passing McNabb. He's not passing
Jalen,
McNabb all time.
I think he'll pass him.
So wait a minute. You think he retires?
You know, to be fair to me,
you think he retires an Eagle?
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Brady
I
did
do. I
retire.
honestly believe that. I don't know. AJ Brown, I think that's a tough conversation. A lot of these other dudes, Saquon, even tough conversation. I feel like Jalen's going to finish his career as an Eagle.
Brady didn't finish his career as a Patriot. So,
I know.
But
I know.
But
I get it's an
finish his
uphill
career.
thing. I mean, I understand it's unlikely. I just feel like the way it ended with Donovan and Jalen's already done what no other starting quarterback has done for the Eagles in terms of winning a Super Bowl. I feel like, and you also heard his agent about the contract. I mean, you've been saying, where's his date? Where's his new deal? It doesn't sound like he's going to want a new deal until this thing's closer to being over. He said to Nicole, I don't want to be the highest paid guy in the NFL. Why'd you do that for me? And she said, listen, Jalen, it doesn't affect the cap. This is why it works. This is why you can keep your teammates. And he's like, all right, that works. I don't think he's coming back looking for another deal. So I think he's going to be here for the long term, and he's got a good chance to finish his career.
Hey, I can't wait to see Gary Cobb. Hey, Gary, do me a favor. I don't want you to take a new contract. I want you just to keep your, you just keep going that way. I don't want you to be paid the highest paid linebacker.
You keep saying this, though, but Jalen Hurts proven that he actually is different with this stuff.
No, Brady was too. He was.
Yeah,
and so is Mahomes. Mahomes is not even in the top 13 highest paid quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's true. What do you got? He got that 10-year, $450 million.
Yeah, he's got $450 million now. I know, right?
He got $450 large guaranteed, my friend.
Hey, man. Good stuff, Big Z. We'll catch you on the morning show.
Phils, thank you, brother.
I love G Cobb, man, because I just got a text message, and I hope he knows this guy. They want me to do a camp. His name is Tom Finks. Wants me to do a camp in Oceanside. And I'm going to be – can you imagine me? Big Sills, what do you tell the young guys? Never take shit. Make sure you take the most money. Hey, and if an alumni guy comes with you with a handshake and it's down, always accept it because you never know what's under that shell. Hey, that's just the Miami in me. Yeah, but I'm sure G. Cobb never. They had a guy at UCLA. What was that guy named? Sam Gilbert? During the UCLA days. You try to tell me USC didn't have a guy rolling around back then when they had all them guys, all them Hollywood guys. G. Cobb must have been going to, how many Oscar events he must have went to? He was at Southern Cal. Listen, if you live in LA, everybody's USC or UCLA in that city. Everybody. No matter if you're on the air, no matter if you're a corporate guy. That must have been a ton of fun here. All right. Without further ado, this is my time. And this is one of the best times of the year because you get ready for the upcoming season. We're 5 weeks out. Without further ado, our dear friend from Fox 29 in Philly, it is indeed the legendary Gary Cobb. He joins us now. G. Cobb, how you doing, brother?
Good. How you making out?
How about this, Gary? Do they still have that same kind of alumni that they had back when you guys were there? Because you guys were rock stars. You guys were bigger fish in Los Angeles than the Rams. USC was a bigger ticket. It's kind of like when you're in Florida. It's either the Gator tickets or the Bucks. Most people would pick up the Gator tickets because Gator football is enormous in that state. And in that city, I always said it, man, USC was a 33rd team. Do they still have that kind of passion for the program?
Yeah, they do, I guess, in a way, but they haven't won as much. They don't really. I don't think the legacy is there as much because everything was. You had people